Thank you for already being in the room. Oh, my lotion. Thank you for already being in the room. How are we doing? Oh no, my lotion is done. My pink velvet. And it's not available now, I don't think. I think I have to go to the outlet to get it. Oh no. Oh, this is an African-American thing right here. We don't just throw lotion out, honey. We get every little bit before we throw that thing into the trash. African-American traditions. Don't say I never taught y'all nothing. How are we doing? I hope that you guys are all blessed and highly favored like myself. Hey, what's up, crazy homebody girl? What's up, Tony? Hey, Black Lavender. What's up, Shannon? Oh no, Shannon, it's too strong for you. I love a strong scent, a strong sweet scent. Oh my God, it's my theme. It's my theme. I love it. Oh my God. Yes. Hey, Shonda said, sure is, Nikki. Oh, that is the African-American tradition, baby. That is culture right there. You don't throw that away. And sometimes, especially if it's cocoa butter, you got to cut the bottle open. Cut the bottle open and get to that lotion. Oh, I missed y'all. What's up? Shonda! Oh, thank you so much. You know, I'm going to start calling y'all the Shady Star family. Thank you so much for the super chat, for the lotion fund. Oh, God. Hey, Tara said, waste not, want not. That's right. Oh, my goodness, Shannon, I can't believe this is too strong for you. It smells so sweet. It smells so sweet. What did you guys think of this episode? Well, both episodes. What did you guys think of The Real Housewives of Potomac? And what did you guys think about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake? Jimmy, what? Jimmy said, hey, family, I won't let my job stop me from enjoying Nikki today. Sings drop. Thank you. While wearing my Robin hat. Are you the one that is making Robin's business so successful that she has to buy or rent a warehouse? Is it you? Because who else could it be? Wow. You're selling out that much? Okay, Teresa Judice. Anyway, how are y'all doing? Giovanni, what's up, my love? Said I haven't got to catch Nikki's lives in forever. Well, thank you for being here, Giovanni. Glad you're here. Hey, Vaca. Vaca don't miss a Housewife Live. Let me tell you something. Vaca will be here for a Housewife Live. Oh, God. Tara! Candace is emotionally underdeveloped. Oh, my God. I think Candace is just a spoiled rich kid. And I think that's what people don't like. Because a lot of, let's be honest, a lot of the fan base is working class. And y'all really got a problem with rich kids. Greta said, Ashley and her inappropriate conversations can go. Yeah, we will get into that. We will get into that. Oh, you know what? Excuse me for 1 second, guys. I'm going to stay here and do it, but I got to do two things. I got to get my collagen water. Oh, this is what I put in my water. Supposedly it helps with the skin. Supposedly it helps with the skin. What do I do? 2 scoops, they say? Because I was going to do it, but I was just like, I cannot make them wait any longer. I'm sorry. I've been washing clothes all day. I'm a multitasking queen. I've been running errands, doing my taxes. Like, y'all don't understand. My morning starts very early. Very early. When I get off of here with y'all, I got to finish up with my taxes. Then I got to meet with the franchise tax board. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Bottom line, somebody is trying to be me, and they're not. There's only one NikkiStar, darling. How many scoops they said to put in this thing now? What's that? Latasha! Latasha said, thank you so much for the Cash App. Says, for Happy Monday, I need to try the collagen water. I got this from Lizzo. I don't know if this actually works for Lizzo. This is what Lizzo said. Thank you so much, Latasha. Thank you. We're out of direction. This is lavender lemon. I won't recommend it. It's not the best flavor, but I got it at Marshall's. Lavender lemon. I think I put too much in the last time. 2 scoops. Yes, 2 scoops. I knew that. I knew that it was 2 scoops. Oh, new people. We're going to get started in a bit. What I like to do is let everybody come in the room, because what I'm going to do is when I do my review, I'm just going to go all the way through, right? But I'm only going to stop to acknowledge lives, to acknowledge super chats, because I want to go through consistently and not have to start and stop, so that we can get through all of my thoughts and then we can discuss after that. So after each review, we'll talk for about 10 minutes and then I'll let you guys get out of here and go on your blessed way. This smells like potpourri. I used to call it potpourri as a kid. Potpourri. But you know what? I got to do what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do. I live, in a sunny place. I live in a sunny place with a lot of sun. If this was Philly, I wouldn't have to do none of this. Say what you want about my city. We got a little gum problem, but baby, that humidity kept my hair long, my scalp luscious, my skin just glistening, beautiful baby skin. Everywhere I went, they was like, oh my God, are you 16? No, I'm grown. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Philly. If we can just put down the guns, I would gladly go back, guys, gladly. But listen, I'm too pretty to be dodging bullets. I can't do it. I love y'all, but I can't do it. Y'all got to do better. And how the hell are you gentrifiers dodging them bullets for that New York rent? Let me tell you something. If you are moving to Philly and you are a gentrifier, baby, you are getting scammed. You are paying New York rent in Philadelphia. Fools. Anyway. What did you guys think of this episode? Welcome to a NikkiStar TV Live. Queen of Tangents. Queen of Tangents. What did y'all think of this episode? Oh, somebody said, can we talk about Mia being a complete weirdo? Yasmin, what's going on? What's going on with Mia? I don't understand. Like, she gets like one great episode and then she'll do another episode and she'll be really weird. Like last episode with the saying that Gizelle said something that she didn't say. And then when she's confronted, she was just like, oh, well, that's what it sounded like. Or that's what I thought I heard. What are you doing? Mia, you don't have to try so hard. We actually really like you. You're doing too much now. You're doing too much. And it's giving Crystal. It's giving Crystal. Crystal started off so strong. And now it's like, what happened? What deal did you sign with the cliques that we don't like? Something is going on. Hey, Greta. Greta said, I'm Team Candace. Aunt Dottie was way out of line. Don't talk about me to my enemies. That her mother is just, whew. She was on Watch What Happens Live and she said that she reached out to Candace, like through the, not Candace, Candy, through the TV. And she was just like, please help me. Help me. Cause I feel like I'm in a Mama Joyce and Todd situation. Yasmin said, I was very proud of how Candace handled this episode. Me too. Because she could have had so many meltdowns. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talent. Everybody lets you have a meltdown because you're putting a lot on the line. Hey, Marlene. So glad to have you here. Karen looks great. She looks great, Black Lavender. She's been doing great. She's been putting on some great looks. Some great looks. Let me get 2 more and then let's get into the review. Let me get... Oh, wait, I got a super chat. Hey, NTR said, thank you for being here, Nikki. Thank you for being here, NTR. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's Latasha. What's up? Says, do y'all think she'll get a second season? I think so. I think the network likes Mia. I think so. I think so. Indy said, because skin of color has too much trans epidermal water loss, we actually need more ceramides to counteract it. Huh? Wait a minute, girl. This is not skincare YouTube. What are you saying? You gotta break it down. Break it down. What you mean? What you mean? Hey, Miss Brown Sugar. Miss Brown Sugar said, read collagen water powder. Am I the only one who doesn't like lavender flavor? I wish this trend would end. Stop messing up my teas and kombucha. Actually, I love lavender. I don't like it in this. I don't like it in this Vital Proteins, whatever. I don't like it, the flavor in this, but I'm a lavender hoe. I love me some lavender. I make a mean lavender lemonade. I also make these honey lavender tea biscuits for when I have my little tea parties. I love lavender. I just bought some lavender. You know what? I got to get started. Snoop Dogg. Oh, my door is swelling. I gotta get out of this project. Anyway, look. I just got this from Marshall's. Oh, wait a minute. Is it lavender or violet? What is this? Oh, it's violet salt. Anyway, it's cute. It's cute. I'm going to try it tonight. I'm making steaks. Natural sea salt and grape flavor. I didn't read that. Oh, this might be terrible. This might be terrible. Damn you, Marshalls. Anyway, let's get into it. That might be terrible. I did not read grape. Damn it. Oops. Anyway, hey, Marlene, thank you so much for the super chat. Marlene said, I listened to you while I'm working and it felt so empty without you. I am sick and tired of Ashley Pennywise Darby. Come on, Candace. Michael Eustace, what that mean? Form coverage, the Cowardly Dog Derby and Robin Dolezal. They can go. Listen, they be getting on everybody's nerves this season, so I think we have all joined forces. Yeah, it's giving essential oil. Oh no, it's, see, this is the thing, right? And shout out to my future husband. I have a Home Goods and Marshall's problem. Worse than my Target and Costco problem. It's bad because I go into these stores and I just imagine that do you guys follow her At Home with Nikki? I had to start watching her channel. I'm still subscribed. Every now and then I check in, but I watch her channel and I'm just like, you know what? I need to remodel my bathroom. You know what? My living room needs a makeover. It doesn't. Does it? Oh, see what I'm saying? I got a problem and I've realized that. So I've been working on myself, but I can't quit Marshalls and Home Goods. Why the hell did I get this? What was the need? Well, I didn't need this. I have tons of sea salt. Pray my strength in the Lord. Let's get into this review. We're going to start off with the Real Housewives of Potomac, and then we are going to get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, especially during the holiday season. Home Goods and Marshalls, it's a problem. I don't know who said it, but one of you kindly pointed out that Karen told Gizelle in the group that Gizelle's comment about Ray that I just think was bogus. Gizelle was not wishing death on Ray. Karen, I love you, but that was just bogus. But she said that comment hurt her children, right? And here last week, Gizelle was like, the comments that Karen was making about their father hurt her kids. So Karen apologized and said, if it hurt your kids, I apologize. But Karen had already said to Gizelle that the comment she made about Ray hurt her children and she never got an apology. Even Gizelle said she would never apologize to Karen for the things that she said about Ray. Giselle wants treatment that she does not give to others. She wants to be treated a certain way, but she does not treat other people that way. And I think this cast plays along with her because she's a big dog. Karen and Gizelle, let's be honest, they run this show. They are the big dogs. You want to be on either one of their sides. If you're not, you're off the show, right? But I think they tolerate her because not only is she like the one of the head honchos of this show, she's also a fan favorite. Hater or lover, people tune in to watch Gizelle be shady. But I've noticed that. And thank you all for pointing that out, because I was like, you know what? You're right. And then it started to snowball into how Gizelle treats everybody else, but doesn't want to receive the same treatment that she gets back, that she gives out. Like, she wants to receive some type of special treatment, but she does not do that to anybody else on this show unless it's Robin. Hate on Karen all you want, but she is using her platform wisely. Her fragrance is currently being sold on HSN, and I told you, it's in Bloomingdale's. It's in Bloomingdale's. Name another housewife that is in Bloomingdale's. I'll wait. Like, she is using this platform for what you're supposed to use it for. I always say, if you're going to pimp yourself out on this show, they are going to take your likeness, your identity, everything that you do concerning your family and your business, and they're going to pervert it. You might as well get something out of it. And every time we see her on the show, she is hawking us another product, right? Not only does the Dom fragrance have its own site, it's on being sold on HSN. You can find her several times on there hawking that perfume to that core audience, right? And you can also find her own display in Bloomingdale's. Now, what is she doing on the show? Showing that she has a candle line. Even if it's emboldened in controversy, it is still something that she is hawking out to the audience. Smart. The lady is smart. Wendy. I think the reason, because even now you don't hear Wendy talking about, at least I don't see on Twitter or Instagram, her being shady towards Karen about the candles. Here's why. If you watch Wendy this episode, she does not really know what she's doing. It's a bit of a struggle, right? To figure out this home essential line, how to, get these candles on the shelves. They're not out at this moment, right? So there's a lot going on. And so I think when she sat back and thought about it, she realized there's no way that after she sat down with Karen, within 24 hours, Karen had a candle line, because she knows it's not something that you can do very easily, even if you're already in one market. It takes time, it takes work, it takes meetings, it takes approval, it takes money. So I know that I perceive for Wendy to be like, you know what, even if that's the conclusion that people are leaping to, it's just impossible for her to have done that. To sit down with her and be like, oh, I want candles. And by the time, like halfway through the season, she already has the candles out. She already has a label. She's sitting and talking to production about what it's going to be. And Wendy can't even get the candles off the ground. It just does not make sense. I think this was something already in the works for Karen, and it just manifested on this show. I will say that I watch What Happens Live. I'll be referencing Watch What Happens Live a lot this episode, because Candace and Meredith were on the episode. So they said a lot of things about the episode that I want to refer to you guys about. But Andy asked Candace, did she basically think that, Gizelle, that Karen was being shady with the candles towards Wendy? And Candace said she sat down with Karen, and she said, Candace, she believes that Karen had already had these candles out. But she also believes that Karen, I can't believe I got this grape salt. I'm so bothered by that. I should have read the directions. But she said that she also believes, ingredients. She said that she also believes that Karen already had that in the works, but she did not want to take that moment from Wendy. She wanted that to be her moment. And her reference was talking about herself, Candace, that she has a podcast. But Gizelle and Robin started a podcast on the show. And when she heard about their podcast, she didn't say on the show, oh, well, I have a podcast, so are you guys trying to copy me? You know what I mean? She was just like, I realized that that's something that they did. It had nothing to do with me. And this is, and it just manifested its way on the show. And I let them have their moment instead of take away and say, I also had a podcast, or I did it first, which just makes sense to me. It really, really does. I think she wanted her to have her moment, because if somebody's coming to you for help, I don't think you want to say, well, I'm doing candles too, so I'm only going to give you but so much help. I honestly think she was just letting Wendy have her moment, because I just do not think, guys, that she was able to do it within 24 hours. Like after she had that meeting with Wendy, she ran to her production team and was just like, we got to do candles, and was able to have it ready to go within like 2 episodes. And those 2 episodes could be a day, a month. Like, I just don't think that she was able to do it in that time. It just doesn't seem that easy. I could be wrong, but from what I'm piecing together, it just seems impossible. But I could be wrong. Not saying that, I haven't been wrong before, but I've been right a lot of times. This is why I think the women on this show should sit out when they are pregnant, or after they have had their child, right? I feel like if you're pregnant, sit out a season, let somebody else come in, from a friend of the show and be a main cast member and see how they play out. Or this is when you try new cast members while this person is on maternity leave, not fired from the show. Here is why. Ashley is a prime example. Ashley and Eva, prime examples. Ashley, whenever at any scenes of Ashley, it is either, one of the babies defecating on a housewife, or her talking about how she's so engulfed with being a mother, she doesn't want to have sex with her husband. So their sex life is not what it used to be, because she's just, my body is for my children. It's an excuse not to have sex with Gollum. We women know it. We get it. We're not shading you, but stop lying. Like, stop coming up with this. Oh, I'm a mother now, and my body is for my son. I can't, Michael. You're so attractive. I can't do it. Stop it. Play checkers, not me. Also, in this episode, what is she talking about? They could have cut out her whole scene. It does not help enhance the show in any kind of way of you telling us that your uterus is poking out through your coochie. Not saying that pregnancy or being a mom should not be on these shows, right? But let's tell the truth and shame the devil. We tune in for the mess. If we want to hear about the female anatomy, we have Married to Medicine for that, right? They give us that. They give us a female anatomy. They, show us about women getting pregnant, medical racism, and they also get messy and mixy. That's what Married to Medicine gives us, and we love them for it. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac. We want the mess. We want the mess without your uterus peeking through your coochie. We already have a show that fulfills that. Thank you. Give us the mess. Let's have another women's empowerment brunch that is nothing about women's empowerment. That's what we're tuning in for. This is Mature Ladies Bad Girls Club, right? Because we can't throw hands, right? We can't jump nobody. Shout out to Bad Girls Club. What a show. You can't do that because we're older now. You know what I mean? We're more refined. We have things to lose. Now we're shady. We may throw some wine. You know what I mean? We gossip. That's what we're tuning in for. I don't want to hear that you don't want to have sex with your husband. I don't care. Okay? Let's talk about how you was dragging this girl's lace front. That's what this is. Stop. Sit out. Get maternity pay. I'm not saying don't pay him. I'm saying sit out. Eva was so boring when she was pregnant. So boring watching her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, when we know Eva from America's Next Top Model, right? We know that she's the bully with the light eyes. Like, that's what she has been known to be on reality TV. We wanted you to be, messy, have a couple of good confessional reads. We do not care about you having all these kids. No shade. No shade to mothers. No shade to pregnant women. You're just not messy when you're carrying a child or right after you've had a child. Good for you, because you're experiencing what it's like to be the Lord. Great for you. Sit out of messy TV, please. Why was Ashley's why was that scene even necessary? The only gem we got from Ashley's scene this episode was the fact that Michael is trying to become a film producer, and pause. Hold the hell on. I said it before and I'll say it again. Ashley, do not allow your husband to go through with that, because if you think that you almost lost everything on this show, you will lose everything. Michael does not have the connections and he does not have the coin to fight the charges that Hollywood will bring. Don't do it. Leave that predator in Potomac. Don't come over to Hollywood. Your arms are too short to box with the Me Too movement. You better back up. You better back up. Not here. Not on this land. You will lose everything. And all that hoeing you did in your late 20s and early 30s to snag this wealthy man will go out the window. Your kids' inheritance, gone. Stay over there where it's people who got thousands of dollars fighting. Don't come over here where y'all can get sued for millions and billions. Use wisdom. Protect your children's trust fund and stay in Potomac. Don't say I ain't never give you nothing. Don't say I never give you. Harvey Weinstein, Mr. Billionaire, he got indicted today. Baby, he ain't never getting out. He ain't never getting out. The only way he is leaving prison is through a casket. Girl, stay woke. Stay woke. Leave that predator in Potomac. I do not believe for 1 second. Sorry, Robin. No shade. I gotta be honest. I do not believe for 1 second that you need a warehouse. I do not believe that you are selling that many hats that you need a warehouse. I'm telling you, you're reaching with the budget of this house. Oh, I want $100,000 over budget. Stop the lies. I couldn't. And this is the thing, to be quite honest with you. Why you have to stop this lying, Robin, is because the feds watch these shows, right? So if you're saying that you're making all of this money from these hats, the demand is so great that you now have to get a warehouse, right, for these hats. They're checking to see what you're reporting on this business, right? And now you're saying that you have this huge mansion that you're building, you're going $100,000 over budget, and the feds are like, how? How you got $100,000 just laying around when your loan was this much? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all better stop that lying. It's okay to be middle class on these shows. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Y'all all middle class. Bethany Frankel and exposed everybody. Y'all ain't got that money like that. But we knew. But it's a TV show and it's entertainment. We don't care. But I'm just saying, stop lying about your finances. They locking y'all up first. They locking up the housewives first. Like, everybody is getting a pass, but the housewives is going to jail, right? So you guys, you have to be very careful about the things that you were saying on this show because, we know you're reaching. The feds are going to make sure if you're reaching or not. They're going to find out. And you don't want them looking in your business because y'all do a lot to keep up with the Joneses for these shows. And it really financially and it impacts you financially and also impacts your freedom. Stop lying. It's okay. You are the broke friend of this show. Why is that a bad thing? Everybody has their seasons where they're the friend that everybody got to put in for to pay for their meal when they go out to dinner. Yes, people talk about you. Yes, you get annoying. But at the end of the day, your time is coming. So there will be a season where you then have to put in for another friend. Everybody has their ups and downs. It's okay to be the broke friend. Stop lying and try to keep up with the Joneses with these other ladies. Because you'll end up in prison. Federal prison. Don't go up against the government. It won't work. You have to come through the blood of Jesus first and 10,000 angels. What is that? It won't work. It won't work. What is this? Where did that come from? What is that song? You got to come through the blood of Jesus first and 10,000 angels. What is that song? Because that was in my spirit. Child, I got a word. $100,000 over budget. Girl, you were just in a townhouse that you were renting. Stop it. Stop it. Candace, fire Chris. Immediately. If you haven't done it already, fire him. He's a terrible manager. He is. And it's okay. It's okay. Great cook, terrible manager. Fire him to save your marriage because what's going to happen is you are going to start fighting about him being incompetent, about a job he has not trained in and he has no idea what he's doing. So you're going to have issues with that, right? Because you are going to be living with and possibly creating a life with somebody who you feel like is leading your career in the wrong direction. Fire him as your manager. Keep him as your husband. It will be the best decision you've made for your marriage. I'm telling you, because what I'm seeing right now is not a good look. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the knowledge of the industry in which you are working in. You have to hire someone who has the expertise. I understand hiring family because you trust them, but if they don't know what they're doing, it is a waste of money and it is a waste of opportunities for you. Fire your husband as your manager, keep him as your husband, and hire a manager who knows what they're doing. If I was you, I would use my platform, my connections in this industry to find, or use your freaking agent to find a manager that could take your career to the next level. Is it Benny Medina? Is he still working with J-Lo? He know what he's doing. He's been out here for a very long time. Somebody like that. That's what you need. Chris is not it. He is not it. It was also a very bad idea for him as your manager not to be there when you have a video shoot. I don't know why he took this catering gig. I don't know what he was trying to prove, but it was not smart for him to not be there, because as a manager, you're supposed to be there, because if something goes wrong, everybody refers to you. We don't care about the team that you hired. Candace, as the talent, should not be talking to the team. She should be talking to the manager. So you should have been there to make sure that everything went off without any kind of issues. And if there were issues, that Candace would have never known about them. So that's the first huge strike. As a manager, he was not at your video shoot. And then he comes, stomping in his, chef gear. It just looked very unprofessional, and it just confirmed for a lot of people, especially your mother, who was saying that he don't know what he's doing. It just gave them more ammo and confirmed for them that he really is not equipped to handle your career. Fire him, keep him as your man, but as your manager, absolutely not. Some people are so easily fooled by a coin that they will risk everything, including their family. Candace, I don't know if this is a scheme, no, I won't say scheme, a storyline that you and your mother have cooked up where you will come on the show and it will be, you will be the next Candy and Mama Joyce. I don't know if that's something that you guys have planned. It's not working. You know what I mean? I think it worked kind of in Candy and Mama Joyce's favor, because we all had known Candy from Escape. You also have people these housewives trying to, do what Candy has done. You can't, because she already had something coming into this show. If that's what you're trying to mimic, stop it, because it's not going to be a successful road for you, because people who do not like you will use the fact that you and your mother have issues on the show. And people who watch this show, even at their big ages, will believe that this stuff is real. So they'll believe that you and your mother are having these issues, and will, say things, do things, tweet you things, may do something when they see you in person. You have to be very careful about what you are putting on TV, right? Because unfortunately, the majority of this fan base, reality TV fan base, they believe this stuff. They don't know that you guys are doing storylines. They don't know that you guys are reenacting stuff that happened. That's why they can call this stuff. That's why they can call this show reality TV, because a lot of times they're reenacting things that have really happened, or real life happens while they're filming the show. That's why they can get away with it. But a lot of it is not real, right? But a lot of people don't believe that. So these people are watching this show just, thinking that you and your mother has this really bad relationship. Listen, you might, right? I'm saying all that to say, you got to take this off the show. You really, really do, because it's never going to benefit you or your mother. It's not going to work in your favor, you putting out your family issues to the world, because at the end of the day, that's your mama, but that's your mama. So everybody watching this got something to say about you and your mama. And you really can't get upset at the audience, right? Because you're volunteering this information on national TV. And this is to all the reality TV people who like to fight back to the viewers and all that stuff. Unless they're giving you death threats, you cannot get mad at people for having an opinion about your life that you put on a TV show that you beg them to watch. So that you want them to watch so that you can get paid, but they can't have an opinion about some of the bogus stuff that you were putting on TV. That's why I said, I am fine with y'all faking stuff. Like Mia doesn't have to take us through her mother's addiction journey. We don't need to know that. You can fake something, just be committed to it. Let it be funny or messy. Let it be entertaining, and we're fine with it. But if you're putting your real life situations, your real life struggles with your mother on the show, nothing good can come from that, because the world is going to have an opinion and the world is not going to forget. And it's going to be your fault because you volunteered this information to the world. If it's fake, that's why y'all feel comfortable doing it. I get it. Not a good look. If it's real and you feel pressure to do that because you need to make more money from the show, or they're giving you ultimatums, it still will not work in your favor. I would say take your mom off the show. She looks terrible this episode. I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. Your mother looks terrible. This is a huge moment for you. She is on your video shoot set, gossiping about your husband to women who do not like you. What mother does that? She was so terrible to her daughter this episode. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. She's sitting there talking to Robin. She's even dropping, mess to Karen, who she knows that her daughter just had a huge blowout with. Why are you volunteering information about her husband to her? And it's negative information. And then your daughter's husband is going to watch this show and feel some sort of way. Like Candace said on Watch What Happens Live, he was very embarrassed by it. He felt hurt. Like his freaking mother-in-law is dragging him on national TV. How is he supposed to feel good about that? She was terrible, sis. Terrible. And see, this is the thing. She could probably watch this and get upset that I'm talking about her mom. Why are you putting your mom on the show like this? Protect your mother. She looks terrible. She looks extremely terrible. Whoever she found, he lost his job. What the hell are you doing? You don't even know Mia. You just giving her this information. Girl, he's not paying for anything. She looked horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I am, I was raised right. So I'm not saying you got to get your mother together, but you need to let your mother know you can't talk about my husband like that. Especially not to no broads I don't like or don't know. What are you doing? She looked terrible this episode, sis. I'm sorry. Your mother looked extremely terrible. It's given jealousy. It's given that weird mother and daughter jealousy dynamic. That's what it's given. That is what it's given. And it was a terrible look. She should have, I don't know. She didn't mention it in her Watch What Happens Live, but you need to apologize to Candace's husband. You need to apologize to Chris. You were hard. You need to apologize to your daughter, and you need to apologize to Chris. And I don't know if your mom has not watched former seasons of this show, but she needs to start watching this show. And she needs to start coming on the show and protecting her child and having her back. Gizelle has had your back more than your own mother. Weird. Huge. Y'all got a huge problem if this is real. You got an even bigger problem if this is fake, because the world has an idea of your mother that is horrible. Nobody has said anything kind about your mom this episode. And it's normally me who could say the nice things. Your mother was terrible. She was absolutely terrible. Her entire argument fell apart. So to me, it just looked like she was just saying mess to be messy, right? Because she's telling people, oh, well, I didn't know he was going to quit his job. Comes out, he didn't quit his job. The restaurant closed because of the freaking pandemic. He's living off my daughter because she's paying him to be a manager. Turns out this dude is over here taking catering gigs like everybody else in this freaking pandemic who has lost their job, trying to find something to keep them afloat. So he's taking a catering job, which is probably why he could not be there for her shoot date, because he had to take this job because they need the money. And he's supposed to be the provider. But you're saying all this stuff to people, but not really giving them the truth. You're just saying stuff to be messy. Do you want your daughter to be happy or not? Because you was also on a reunion defending Chris and saying, well, he comes from a prominent family, so he's not leeching off my daughter. But then you're saying something else. Candace, get your mom off the show. It's a terrible look. A terrible look. I will say this, though. I watch What Happens on Watch What Happens Live. You know what? Before I get into that, I will say this. Candace, you don't have any allies on the show aside from Wendy and Rhoscl, because they were the only two who would not engage in the conversations and the gossiping that your mom was trying to do with the rest of the cast. They would not engage. Wendy walked away. I will say, Wendy, maybe you don't know this, so I'm going to give you a little break. But Candace had a really big day right? And it was inappropriate for you to tell her that her mother was gossiping about her husband while she's performing. I just felt like, it was a good look as a friend to have her back, but you could have gave her this information after she did her, big, something really huge in her life, this video shoot, because that could have changed her whole mood. But Candace was a constant professional, and she was like, okay, fine. And she went on with it, and she, did a performance, but she could have actually fallen apart with that information because it's two people that she loves, being involved in some kind of conflict on a show that's being filmed, right? So all of that stuff is going through this girl's head, but she was able to handle it in a very great way. But only Wendy and Rhoscl would not engage in the mess that her mom was doing. So I think, if anything, Candace, you might not have an ally with the KKK Karens, but you do have an ally with Rhoscl and Wendy. They really had your back on this photo shoot. I like Rhoscl because Rhoscl, for me, it's like how PK is on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the voice of reason. Rhoscl asks questions and she says things that the audience, I believe, would say. Because I was watching this episode like, yes, Rhoscl, absolutely. I will say the same thing too. So I feel like she is the audience eyes. That's what I get from Rhoscl. But I really like her so far. What I'm seeing, I really, really like her. Robin, I don't think you should wade in the waters of talking about somebody's husband or finances. It will not work well for you. We know that Candace has a mouth. You know what I mean? So if I was you, I would back out of there because you're going to get your feelings hurt at the reunion. It's just going to happen because you're sitting here having a laugh and a kiki with her mother as she talks about how, her husband, how poorly her husband is and the finances, not really being there in their relationship when that has been your storyline since we met you. I would back out of there if I were you. I really would. You, of all people, should not be engaging in that kind of conversation. That's all I'm saying, sis. Stay woke. Stay woke and stop lying about your money. Mia, you were so weird this episode. I was so bothered. You were weird last episode and this episode. What's happening? It's giving Crystal. It's giving Crystal. And I'm so disappointed because you came in so strong for me, but you're just acting really, really weird. Like, I don't know what your motives are. Like, you don't even know Candace like that to just be sitting. I don't know. It feels very produced. And it happens, right? So that's why I will excuse some of Mia's behaviors, because when you come on the show and you're new, you do things that producers are requesting for you to do, a lot of times to your own detriment. And so I'll just give her a pass on that. I hope she learns the ropes and comes back a little stronger next season. But I was very, 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 very disappointed. But I will close out with this, talking about Watch What Happens Live. Candace, she did mention about her generational wealth. She did say that because Andy was asking her all of these questions. And I think one of the questions was, do you, is your mother still help paying for your place? And she was like, no, she wasn't. But I was not embarrassed when she was paying for my other place. I am not embarrassed about being from generational wealth. I actually love the fact that I benefit from it. And she closed it with a little smile to the camera. And I wanted to talk about that because I think that's another issue with a lot of people who watch this show. I think a lot of people are not used to seeing Black people who benefit or have generational wealth. And I think it's because I think it comes from a little bit of jealousy, right? Because you are seeing, a Black person who has, not really been a victim of the financial racism that you have endured as a Black person. So when you see somebody who does not have who looks like you, but doesn't have the same struggles as you, a little jealousy and bitterness comes up. So just unpack that. It happens. You know what I mean? Just unpack that and then move forward with Candace. I think you won't hate her as much as you do. Some of you will, but I think for a few people, that's a really big issue for you because a lot of people mention that her mother helps her. And I'm just like, what? How do you think Andy got there? How do you think Andy got his own network and his own show? Generational freaking wealth. It's like you excuse it for white people, but you hate it when it's your people. Unpack that. I will say that Andy is reading them tweets. He is reading them tweets about how you think that he favors the White Housewives, specifically Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because he also asked Candace another question. He was like, I had to have this conversation. He's like, I have to have a conversation with you, Candace. But I also just want to let you know, I also had this conversation with Miss Erica Jane. He knew he had to throw that in there because he knew that he was going to get lit up if he just directed, this whole conversation about Candace's tweets and, her behavior being brutal when he won't address, the White Housewives being very negative towards each other. So he made sure to add in that he had to talk to Erica Jane first before he got to Candace. I said, oh, he's reading and he's watching and he's learning. Because he was going to get lit up if he acted like Candace is the only housewife on Twitter, on Instagram, going at these other housewives and fans. She's not the only one. If anything, Lisa Rinna should be talked about as well. Her Instagram, horrible. She is so nasty on Instagram and Twitter. But for some reason, nobody clocks Lisa Rinna. Very weird. Very, very weird. But he did, have this conversation with her about her anger again or whatever. And she was just like, because he brought up the body shaming. She was just like, listen, it wasn't right what I did. I did apologize to Ashley. I'm not going to apologize again. Also, if we're going to bring up body shaming with me, let's bring it up with everybody that I'm on the cast with. And she started mentioning all the things that were said about the other women on the cast that were body shaming. And she was just like, I don't know why I'm held to a different standard and the other housewives aren't. Sweetie, we know why. They'll never admit it, but we know why. But I'm glad that she addressed that. And I'm glad that Andy clarified because he knew. He reading them tweets. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. What are your thoughts? I'm going to scroll up. Oh, the Emmys did good last night. I thought they were going to have poor ratings. It was in a tent. Sean Tavia said Robin ain't good with math, so I don't believe her either. Especially $1,700 a month is expensive to her. Right? The math not mathing. The math is not mathing. Miss T said Robin said that island is expensive, but she needs it so that she can order DoorDash for the boys. Lies. Aurelie said the hats are always sold out on her website. That doesn't mean that people are buying. That doesn't mean that. It could mean that the production has not made enough to put back on the website. This is what a lot of people do, especially these boutiques. What they do is they buy a small amount, right? Because they want, so the small amount will sell out. They'll buy like 3 in each size of something. And they watch it all be sold out, right? So a lot of times when you're shopping for something, you're just like, oh my goodness, this is finally available. You go to get it and it's like, oh my goodness, it was sold out within seconds. Oh my God. And this must be so popular. It's a trick to make you think that so many people are buying that this thing is just can never stay stocked. Aside from Teflon, because Telfar, I believe that they are like selling out like crazy, which is why I'm a part of Bag Security. Stay woke. Don't say I never give you nothing. But a lot of companies, especially fashion companies, do that to make you think that something is in such high demand. So now, even if you didn't want one of her hats, you now start to think that maybe you need to get one because everybody is buying these hats, which is not the case. She probably had 2 of each hat. And of course, it's sold out to her super fans, right? That could be it. It could be that they are just not in production yet. COVID, the pandemic has slowed down a lot of things, slowed down, the chicken wings, which is why you probably can't find chicken wings in a lot of places, slowed down turkey production, which is why I don't eat turkey, but if you do eat turkey for Thanksgiving, you better buy one now and freeze it because they will not be available come Thanksgiving. They are running out because COVID has slowed down a lot of production for a lot of things. So especially the restrictions for certain companies. So that could happen. That really could happen. But I just do not believe that the Real Housewives of Potomac fans are selling these hats out. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Yes, and thank you for mentioning that, Shonda. Shonda said, thanks everyone for joining NikkiStar Live. Please like and subscribe for more content. Thank you, Shonda. JG said the thing with Robin is when she showed us she was middle class, people dragged her and still used that as a dig. So she's embellishing. I absolutely agree with that. But I will say that Robin has not been nice. Her and Gizelle have not been nice. And I think that dig was used against her. Not saying it was warranted, but it's a dig for a reason. Because what did you do? You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people just like, how are you coming for somebody and you are always facing eviction? Like, that's the thing that but I get it. I do agree with you. I think she is embellishing because of that. But all the housewives do it and they shouldn't. They shouldn't, because Bethany put your tea out there. But I've always believed that there are only aside, you can add Kathy Hilton to that. But I always believed that there was like 4 wealthy housewives. I didn't believe any of them other ones. I thought a lot of them were faking it. And the 4 wealthy housewives, adding Kathy Hilton, is Kathy Hilton, Candy, Adrienne Maloof, and Lisa Vanderpump. Those were the only ones that I thoroughly believe, especially Adrienne Maloof. Mama got coin, especially Candy. The pen is crazy. She will always eat. So I knew that probably everybody else had a little financial problem. And, we find out every season, somebody getting locked up. Before I go on, let me acknowledge this super chat from Phil. Thank you so much, Phil. Phil said the black girl Candace can be physically attacked, but the white girl Sutton can't be threatened to be sued. The double standard of it all. You better preach. You better preach, my brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, Phil. Hey, Shannon Van. Shannon Van said, I thought I just hear Jenny's voice, 90 Day. Nikki, you can't wait to give us your Jenny impression. That's today at 3. So if you guys like 90 Day Fiance, I will be reviewing 90 Day Fiance the other way today at 3. Oh, Tara, that's good. Tara said, when you have a child, you shape them. You don't compete with them. You better preach. Hey, Diva1675. Diva1675 said, yeah, Candace's anger is misplaced. Instead of angry at Mia, deal with boundaries with your mom. But I think her mom is controlling financially. I agree. I think she can do both, but yeah. You don't have to get your mother together on TV for us to see it, but you gotta set boundaries with your mom. She was horrible this episode. Hey, Jean Gray. Jean Gray said Chris likely didn't want to manage Candace, but only did so to appease her until someone else could step in. Oh, probably. Probably protective husband doesn't want to see his wife get scammed, but he'll know what he's doing. Hey, Ryan. Ryan said, was Dorothy hitting Candace in the head with her purse made up then? The thing is, we don't know. First of all, we were not there, but I'm telling you guys, a lot of these people are lying. They're faking storylines, or they're reenacting stuff that happened years ago, or probably when the cameras were not there. But you're volunteering this information. You're giving us this and you're showing this on TV. Like, everybody's going to have an opinion about it, and you cannot get upset because we would not have known had you not said anything. You know what? And I like that about them, Morelli. Morelli said that hats actually have satin fabric inside, which is black girl friendly. Absolutely. If Robin were black girl friendly, I would have bought the star hat. I really would have, but it's just like, you are. I'm sorry. I think for a lot of people, if you want to sell people stuff, if you're a terrible person, you should not be on TV, right? Like, you need to be behind the scenes and just sell the hats. But if you want to hawk something to people, especially black women, you can't be on the show attacking other black women and think that this is something that a majority of us will go after. Like, who would, buy your stuff when you're just so terrible on this show? Like, Robin, I get you have to be messy or whatever, but you can at least fake some nicer moments with the women. You're only nice to your husband and your kids. And Gizelle. Everybody else, you're just like nasty. You have to realize now you're a business owner and you're selling a product to the audience. You have to be palatable for everybody. If you're not, you are really going to put yourself in a box financially. Miss Gigi said, Chris comes cheap. She would have to pay a professional manager and she would make the money on the back end. That's the thing. You cannot go cheap with your career. You can't, because if you do, you'll continue to have situations like this. You listen, you got to pay to play, right? Nobody here, because somebody said at the Emmys when they won, I forget who it was, but if you guys know, you can put it in the chat. But they had won an award and they said, I put 15 years into being an overnight success. There's a lot of time and money put into this entertainment industry or the music industry to pop off overnight. I don't know if you guys are aware of the Karen Civil, and Jessie Wu drama that has been going on, but I wasn't in the chat, the Clubhouse chat, but I was listening to it being streamed. And a lot of people in the chat were shocked to know, and a lot of people who listened to the Clubhouse chat with Karen Civil, I think it was Karen Civil was a scam or something like that. But a lot of people were so shocked of how much you actually had to pay into the industry to break out in the industry. Nobody is discovered in this industry. I'm telling you that right now. Nobody is discovered. There is somebody who I know who invested $3 million into their career to be an overnight sensation. So you got to pay to be, to take off. So she's going to have to pay out good money for a manager, give a good portion of her check to an agent, pay a pretty penny to a publicist, stylist. What else do you need? An assistant is not really necessary, but there's something else that you need in this industry. We got publicist, agent, manager. Am I missing something? Probably a production specialist, somebody to help you marketing and production specialist, somebody to help you market your brand out to the audience, and a production specialist, somebody out there finding you opportunities like a perfume line, a candle line, a sweatsuit, summer, spring, winter, fall, joggers, collection, somebody like that. You got to put out a lot of money. There was also a viral TikTok video from a young actress who was on one of those shows. I think it was 13 Reasons Why or something like that. And she was talking about how she doesn't have a lot of money. And people were just like, oh no, you're on a TV show. You just got nominated for this award. And you're talking to like how you don't have any money. You're lying. You just want to be like one of us. And she did a whole video showing her pay and showing how much she had to pay out, the 10% of each check that she has to give to her agent. Then she showed how much she had to pay a publicist, a manager, a stylist. Like she gave out that whole thing and showed everybody how much she had to pay and what was left over for her. She's like, this is why I live in this apartment and this is why I have a roommate. I'm on TV, but I ain't making no money. Because at the end of the day, you got to put out this money to look like you're making this money. The industry is a scam. Don't ask me why I'm in it. Hey, IA said something about Chris doesn't add up. He didn't turn up to the shoot to show the people that he does have a job. Something about Chris doesn't add up. He didn't turn up to the shoot to show the people that he does have a job and he's booked and busy. It's divisive and manipulative, but Dorothy showed his slip. I did not get that. I get that Dorothy is messy and kind of wish she was a housewife and is living vicariously through her daughter. But I can see where you're coming from though, but I didn't get that. Hey, Porshecula said, I'll tell you what, Dorothy had me hot this episode. Me too. What's up, Vodka with 3 olives? There you go. Says, yes, seem fake. Which mom talks against her daughter with the enemy? I absolutely agree. Jimmy G said, Dorothy doesn't want Candace to be independent, happy, and confident. Yes, because then where will she be? Right? Because she's used to being liked for her money. So if she doesn't need her for that, then she feels like she can't have any relationship with her child because she's not needed. You're wanted. Wouldn't you want that more? To be wanted? Miss T, what's up? Said Dorothy did the most for no reason. I see where Candace got her fake honest. Hey, Jean Gray. Jean Gray said Chris like, oh, you got that one. Let me get a newer one. Hey, Candace Reynolds. Candace Reynolds said Karen tried to quiet mom down. She really, really did. She did not want to talk about it. Much respect for Candace because Karen, because she did not want to engage in that conversation, but was respectful to Candace's mother. IA said, did you peep Chris promoting his company? Dorothy, is that you? When he turned up to the shoot, his company name was all over his apron. Well played, Chris. Hopefully he will get more bookings. Come on, Miss Dorothy. Hey, Kwame. Kwame said Wendy thought it's on camera, so she may as well tell. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't see it like that. I just wish she would have not gone to her with that information while she was about, like right before she's about to perform. The bombshell blurred said exactly. She was already stressed about the cars. That could have waited. Absolutely agree. Oh, hold on. What is that? Is that a super chat? Oh, yeah, I got a super chat. I'm sorry. Let me highlight this. Hey, Nat Lee. Nat Lee said, okay, Nikki, you were right and I was wrong. I tried drenching my body mist like you do, and I smell good. Okay. Also, I love you. Love you too, Nat Lee. You're so welcome. I told you guys. You just got to spray enough. You just got to spray enough to where your shirt is a little moist. When the shirt is moist, that's when you're done. That's a little moist, especially around the collar and the back. Girl, just a little moist. See right there, it's getting a little moist. That's when you're done. You're welcome. A little over. There you go. You're welcome. JL said, I keep thinking, why hats? You don't give the fashion to the audience, Robin. And I wonder what she could sell that would be convincing. She's trying hats because the home flipping didn't work. I felt like that would have been more beneficial. I have so much more to go. So much more to go. Let me get two more and then let's get into Salt Lake City. Hey, Kyra. Kyra said, I think that Wendy telling her was good. I think that Wendy telling her was good because then Candace didn't ask Mia to use her car. Just for me to act like she declined to offer her. Just for me to act like she declined to offer her car on the after show. I will say this, and I don't want to start no mess, but everybody whose car was in the video, you should have got paid. I don't know if Candace paid them or not, but I'm just saying, like, you can ask for, if you signed an appearance release and for yourself in your car, then you won't get anything. But if you didn't, the car was last minute, you could have negotiated something because that's your property being used in a video. But, if y'all just did it for your friend, fine. I'm just saying, you could have got a coin for your car. Miss Brown Sugar said, listen, I agree that Candy Pants needs to leave Mama Dot off camera, but I absolutely believe that dynamic is real. Let's not act like there are moms competing with their daughters every day. Yes, absolutely. And I don't know why you don't want her relationship to work. Yes. Yes, Diva. Yes. Portia gonna be my last comment before I get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Said, anybody notice that Robin was receiving financial support to flip home? Yep, from her mother. But nobody gets on Robin for that. Or Gizelle, who was receiving financial support from her father, but she covered it with, I'm a daddy's girl. Nobody said anything about that. So the light brights can have generational wealth, but not the darkies. That's what you're saying? Anyway, let's get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Not Jen's nephew being the voice of reason. So Jen, her nephew was in one of the opening scenes. He was in her closet and he was just like, this is too much stuff. And the way he was saying it, it was like every room he went into, he was shocked. And for me, the way he was moving along through that closet with shock and awe gave off, how the hell do you have this, right? As like somebody who knows her, who's just like, what is going on? Every room, he was like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. Confusing to him. Why she had so many things. Jen, there's so much foreshadowing in the first episodes of this show. There's so much foreshadowing. He was like, wow. How the hell you got all this on a coach's salary is what he really wanted to say. Anyway, but I will say this, Jen. I will say this. Hold on one second. These earrings are something else. I love the way they were moving. I love the way they were moving this episode. I will say this about Jen. Yes, she's a scammer, but she's a scammer with a good eye. She's a scammer with a good eye. When she scams, she uses those old people retirement funds on some nice things. Not saying it's right, but she treats herself, to some cute stuff. Some really cute stuff. Anyway, Jen, I'm calling BS on you helping out your nephew who was living in a war zone in South Central. The only reason why I'm calling BS on it is because knowing your financial state at this point, it's like the way you were talking about yourself is just like you were helping him. You couldn't help him right away because you were going through a situation with your family, but he forgave you for reaching out to him at the last minute. But when you finally reached out to him, you moved everybody, his whole family, out to the Chalet 2.0. Now, were you helping him? Or is him and his family helping you pay this rent? What's going on? What's going on? Math ain't mathin'. Math ain't mathin'. So family, what am I going to say? Let me come to the comments. What am I going to say about this picture? What am I going to say? While I wait, let me acknowledge a super chat from Miss V. What's up, Miss V? Thank you so much for the super chat. It says, hi, Nikki. Finally caught you live. So glad you're here, Miss V. Thank you so much. What am I going to say? What am I going to say about this picture? I need to know that you guys know me enough to know what is the comment going to be. Ha! Bam! There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is why you cannot eat at everybody's home. You cannot eat from everybody's kitchen. This is why. Why in the hell is Fido on the dining room table next to your food? So many things are wrong in that. And they don't say anything. And the fact that he is so comfortable up there and nobody has said anything to him lets me know he spends a lot of time on the dining room table. So I know he's eating off the dishes. I know that he's licking the plates and the knives right before y'all put them in the dishwasher. I just found out that people with animals do that. Oh, we just let them get a little licky. They're going to be washed in the dishwasher anyway. I know y'all kissing him in the mouth. I know. Don't listen. I'm not judging, but it's a lot of y'all who are French kitchen animals. Tongue and everything. Remember on Love is Blind, where that heifer let that dog drink her wine? I don't do potlucks. I don't do potlucks. I don't do potlucks for that reason. Running outside, licking dogs behind. Listen, I get a lot. That's my baby. That's my family. That's my son. That's my daughter. I understand the love that y'all have for pets. I used to have a pet. Y'all know I tell you all the time about Mr. Boopas. I loved him. We had boundaries. We never made out. You know what I mean? He never slept in my bed. But I did pet him. You know what I mean? He had his own little bed and things of that nature. He never, sat at the table or on the table when we ate food. He never was allowed on the kitchen counter. He was an animal. And he stayed in this place, but I loved him. I grieved when he left because he was in heat. I grieved, but he was still an animal. So Meredith just let me know, you can't eat at her house because Fido is all over that place. All over that place. Anyway, speaking of Meredith, she cannot get angry enough for me at Jen. Because even after she spoke to Jen and told her how she felt about the things that she said, Jen was still liking and retweeting things about her son. And when Brooks sat down with his mother, it was just like, it's stuff that I haven't even mentioned about myself. And she's liking and retweeting these nasty things that people are saying about me and my sexuality. Meredith cannot get angry enough at Jen. She keeps on disengaging. Mama, you need to engage with no, we're not going to pull a Monique. But honey, I don't even have children and I am heated with how Jen is treating Brooks. I get it. He made a comment about her vagina. Absolutely out of place. But Meredith, I will give her this. She said on Watch What Happens Live. Now, what are we going to do? Because sometimes my son is a child and he needs to stay out of adult arguments. Then he's an adult and he can handle himself against the things that Jen is saying. Where is he? Where is he? Because either way, I'm going to be upset about her talking about my kid. And she has every right. She has every right. What I did find out on Watch What Happens Live also is that Jen she kept on doing something with her, like revealing her coochie to the camera. And they kept on telling her to stop doing that. So that's why Brooks said that he was uncomfortable about Jen, flashing her vagina, because she had done it several times before they had even filmed that scene. And she was asked to keep her legs closed and she didn't do it. I am able to understand why he was just like, okay, Mom, your friend is doing a lot right now. He probably felt embarrassed because this was going to be filmed. I get it, right? I still think that Meredith, when Jen told her that she had an issue with that, should have addressed Brooks and said something. But having a bit more context, I can now understand why Brooks said what he said. The way it was edited, it made it just seem like he was being shady, this shady little bratty kid commenting on a woman's body. But now we find out that she was asked before they even started filming to stop flashing her a coochie. Was she drinking? Was Jen drinking on that episode? Why would somebody have to tell you to please keep your coochie covered? What is going on? But yeah, Meredith can't get angry enough for me. Like after the Brooks vagina issue was addressed, Jen still took it too far because you're taking it off the show. You're taking it off the season after the reunion. So after you and her have apologized, she has forgiven you. You still continue to act and do things that are antagonizing her son. After you have apologized and said you wouldn't do it again, you still continue to do those things. She has every right to be upset with Jen and not want anything to do with her. Off the show for a minute. Meredith and Brooks had a commercial this episode talking about Dear Evan Hansen and about how the show was so impactful to them. And Jen was just like, this is something that, the family can watch together as a family with their kids. And Brooks is like, yeah, mental health. What? Bravo, you have to stop forcing your, talent, your Bravo talent to do these fake cheesy commercials for these movies that it is obvious that they have not watched. They didn't say anything about Dear Evan Hansen that had anything to do with the movie. Nothing. So you can clearly tell that they did not watch it and that whoever wrote this script for them was giving them the most basic generic script they could give them, because these two people did not watch that movie and had absolutely no idea what's going on. But y'all want us to go and watch it when the cast that you have hawking this movie to us haven't watched it. Okay. Mary. Seeing Mary redecorate her home. Listen, the home it needed a redecoration. I'm not even getting mad at her for that. Like, she hasn't decorated her home in 20 years. Like, girl, I do it every year. This is why I have a problem. But so I'm not mad at her for redecorating that home. It looks like Gizelle Bryant vomited all over that home. I get it. I understand it is time for an upgrade and remodeling. I just hope that you are not using the church's money to do that, right? Because you're talking about you want a marble fireplace. You're talking to your son in his room with his Gucci sheets and his Louis Vuitton throw and with those outside picnic chairs. It's like, I was like, what in the balcony chairs is this in his room? But anyway, like, you have this very lavish life. And I hope that it's the money that you're spending is from the businesses and the inheritance that you said that you have, and not the money from saints, from the people of your church who are giving because they want a breakthrough or they want God to move in their lives, or because they feel obligated to protect the prophet and stuff like that. I really hope that that's your money and not God's money. That's what I hope, for your sake. Because one thing I've learned in the church is that it's easier to die behind a pulpit than playing in them streets. Y'all better stay woke. Don't mess with the Lord's sheep or their pockets. Anyway, so she's redecorating her home, and she needs to, just as long as it's her money and not God's money. Speaking of Mary, who's the best thing? Like, it bothers me. The church stuff definitely bothers me, but she is such a great addition to this show and to the Housewives franchise. Like, she's such a great character, and for all of the wrong reasons, but she's a great character. But speaking of Mary, what in the Kojic Inspector Gadget is this? Like, what? And I bet you it was all designer, but what is happening? Why? It's giving Bishop's funeral. What is going on? Why is this? Like, she just does not know that all of these looks are terrible. We don't care if it's Chanel. We don't care if it's Balenciaga. It's terrible, Mary. How do you make all this expensive stuff that you wear and own look so cheap? The person makes the fashions, not the fashion makes the person. It is not the other way around. My God, today. So Jen and Lisa are besties. We found out that this episode because Jen is like, oh, we talk every day. And if we don't talk every day, I call her like, what's going on? Like, why haven't we talked? So Lisa brings Vietnamese Jenny over to Polynesian Jen Shah's home, right? So they are having, just a meeting, not a meeting, but just like a girls gathering or whatever. And we find out that Jen and Lisa are a lot closer than we thought. We'll get into Meredith's response to that. So in this scene, Lisa is saying that, you went a little far with Brooks, and that's what Meredith's problem is. And Jen is like totally overlooking the fact that what she did was wrong. She's just like, oh, it's a joke. They're homophobic jokes. And this man, he's never talked about his sexual identity. right? So you're just, everything that you're doing, Jen, in this situation is so wrong. And the fact that you cannot see it is even worse. What I will say about Meredith and Lisa is that I don't think they're in the best of spaces, because Andy asked her about Lisa's loyalty on Watch What Happens Live, and she gave her a fairly low rating. It was like a 1 to 10. I think she gave her somewhere low. And she was just like, I think that what loyalty is to Lisa is not what the same thing that loyalty means to me. And I think she thinks that she's being loyal, but to me, I don't think that she's being loyal. So they're in a weird space, because remember, they were like besties and sisters. Now they're in like this really weird space. We'll probably find out more at the reunion, as we normally do, but wow. All it took was one season, and the twins, Meredith and Meredith 2.0, are no longer where they used to be. These friendships have to be fragile. Like, either they're not really friendships, or they're friendships of convenience, like society circle friendships that really don't mean anything. It just has a popularity and financial leaning, but not really a friendship thing. Because how are your friendships falling apart so easily at your big ages, right? Adult friendships should be a lot more stronger, because you're a bit more mature and you've spent some more time and you've vetted these people a bit better than you would have when you were like 16 years old. So your friendships cannot be real friendships if they can fall apart so easily. I think a lot of y'all be faking these friends groups on these shows, and y'all just come on with pictures from like 10 years ago when you guys probably never really knew each other, but you just took a picture together at an event. So when you come to audition for these housewife shows, you're like, listen, we've been friends for 10 years. Like, look at this picture of us 10 years ago. No, y'all didn't know each other. I just took a picture together at an event, like everybody does, especially if you're like, in them circles. Y'all know of each other, but y'all not really friends. Because if you are, how do your friendships fall apart so easily? All it takes is one season on a reality TV show and y'all mortal enemies. Weird. Also, speaking of Meredith, I hope she clarifies her response on Watch What Happens Live to if she called the feds on Jen Shah. Because when Andy asked her that, she said, Andy, I told you that people should never come for me or my family. What? Meredith, I hope you were joking, and I hope you clarify that statement up somewhere, if not on Twitter, maybe when you do Watch What Happens Live again or at the reunion. Because when somebody asks you if you reported the feds on somebody and your response is, I told you not to come for my family, that ain't a good look, especially in them circles you want to be in, because they all are fraud in the government. So ain't nobody gonna want to be around you or trust you, and nobody likes a snitch. And I hope that all your finances are in order for you to be calling the feds on people. I hope you were joking, Meredith. Because even Brooks, when she said that, Brooks was like, mama, I hope you cleared that up. Because that was not a good look. I really expected for her to say something else. Not that. Ciao. Told you not to come for my family. Damn, if somebody come for your family, you calling the feds? What in the mafia boss is going on? So let's get into I'm starting to like Jenny. I really, really am. I'm starting to like Jenny. I think I just like her and her family. Oh, Jenny, I hope your family doesn't fall apart on this show. I really, really don't, because it seems like this season your husband is going to be pressuring you to have a child. I hope y'all are faking. I really hope that that is not the truth, because you have a nice family and a very attractive husband. I can't believe that you said he's attractive from the neck down. He's an attractive man. Oh, girl. I'm concerned, but I love your daughter. She is so adorable. Jenny's daughter is adorable with her fun little quirky commentary and jokes. Oh, she's such a cutie, and she's so comfortable in front of the camera. Your kids just adapted very well to this show. Another thing, Jenny, y'all got the coin. Eat out, go to a restaurant, or hire a chef, because mama, you are not a cook. Ain't no way that ravioli that you made for your family, ain't no way it was all the way done. There is no way. Your pan was overcrowded when you were boiling the ravioli, and it was overcrowded when you were trying to put sauce on the ravioli. Ain't no way. That's why we never saw y'all eat that ravioli. Because the ravioli had to be crunchy. I think I have a picture of that. Look at this pan. How was all that ravioli cooked? There's no way. Her pan was overcrowded. There's no way. That ravioli was crunchy. Crunchy. We probably didn't see them eat it because her daughter probably said, Mom, this is terrible. I love her daughter. I love Jenny's daughter. She's so adorable. And your husband is fine. You better fix that. You better fix that. He's fine. He got money to take care of you and all them kids. Especially after a pandemic, people is out here broke. And you over there with a fine husband who takes care of you and you complaining. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I would not do that if I were you. Whitney, your husband did not want to have that conversation about sex on camera. He was completely uncomfortable with that conversation. Like when she said, honey, because I really, we're not having sex enough and I want to have sex. And he was like, just uncomfortable. Like he really couldn't talk about it. And I say this all the time, guys, y'all can fake stuff. You do not have to put certain, like, we don't need to know. And I think a lot of audience members don't care that you and your husband are not having sex every day. We don't need to know that information, and we don't care about that information. What I mean when it's like, what I say, you can tell us something else or you can fake something, because as long as it's entertaining, the audience does not care. But when you start talking about how you're not having enough sex and your husband, your partner is not fulfilling you in that way, I just feel like you start to play a very dangerous game with your marriage. You start to play a very dangerous game with your marriage. And if I was you, Whitney, I would take all that marriage and not being sexually fulfilled by your husband off the damn show, right? Because not only are you inviting in people who will say, oh, I can sexually fulfill you, you're also embarrassing your husband. Not a good look. It's not a good look. I will say, Whitney doesn't know that she's naturally funny. I don't think she gets that. If she does get that and she's just working this dumb blonde role, good for you. But she's hilarious. When she was in her confessional talking about robotic sex, she is really, really funny. Like, Whitney, if I were you, I would say remain the fun, neutral, comedic friend. I don't think you need to bring in your marriage and the difficulties that you have in your marriage, because you're already naturally funny. You are already that neutral friend. You could really be like Cynthia with a dash of Nene on this show. And because we'll be so entertained by you within this group setting, you don't have to let us know that you ain't boinking your man every day, because we're already so enamored by your hilarity. We don't need to know. I don't know how y'all come on these shows and play with your marriages. Not me. Not me. Listen, I'm not a cold person. Like, spiritual or, physical as well. I'm talking about physical, but I'm also not a cold person. I'm very nice and joyful. That's why you're here. But I don't like cold weather. It's a no for me. I do not like it. It's very obvious. I'm Black. We are sun people. That is where we are. That's when we shine, when we under that sun. That is our thing. Our hair grows to it. We light up under it. We are sun people. However, this ice cave, I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go to this ice cave. It looked really, really cute. So Jen and Heather meet together in this adorable ice cave. They were like, they had a little fireplace. They were bringing them snacks to eat. This is bougie enough for me. But they meet because Jen FaceTimes Heather and she's just like, I want to work on our relationship. I want to sit down with you and talk. Whitney warns her because Whitney has been through this situation with Jen and Heather before, where Jen mistreats Heather and Heather, comes back and becomes her friend full force after the mistreatment, but Heather still goes because she really loves Jen. But Heather, I don't think you realize that you said something really important about your relationship with Jen, because Heather, when she walks into this ice cave, she's like, oh, wow. And in her confessional, she's just like, Jen always pulls out the stops for me. Like, she always woos her. And I think that's what it is. Heather doesn't need the money, but the way Jen treats her and woos her, I could be reaching, Heather, but I think she woos you in a way that you want a man to woo you. And so because you're not getting fulfilled in that way, you take this fulfillment of being sought after and wanted from Jen, and it fills something in you that you are currently missing, because she talks about how Jen, pulls out all the stops and she gets caught up in her spell, but it worked. It works every time, it seems like, because Jen, brings her into this ice cave. She has a conversation with her. She starts to butter her up and, talk about how she misses her and everything. Heather was standing her ground in the beginning. She was just like, well, how can you call me, how can you say that I'm a racist? You're calling me a racist on every platform, but then you're saying that I'm your girl. That's really weird to me. Very weird to me as well, because I don't know a Black person or a person of color who was calling somebody a racist, but then FaceTiming them and saying, hey, we need to meet because I want to fix our friendship. You fixing friendships with racists? Really? You fixing friendships with people who don't want you to exist and are doing everything to make sure you don't? Really? So then that makes me not trust you, Jen, because then it seems like, well, was Heather a racist? Or you were just saying that to really harm her in a day and age that could really mess up a lot of things for this woman because she is white? What kind of friend is that? Like, this is the thing with Jen. When she gets into it with her friends or anybody, she plans to destroy them, but then wants to apologize and fix the relationship. And it's just like, you could have destroyed everything that Heather had currently or was working on with just that comment and those implications. So Heather, I could not be friends with somebody like that. Like, I could not mend that relationship with her because she goes so full. Like, it's one thing to just like, and you're in a battle, right? You're in an argument and y'all just going back and forth. It's another thing to go out of your way to try to destroy everything that person has and has worked for in their image. And everybody knows that a lie travels farther than the truth. So looking at Jen sideways, because if you're saying that somebody is a racist, why are you trying to fix your relationship? No Black person, no person of color fixes a relationship with a racist. Like, that just doesn't make sense, because if you do, then that means they really weren't. And you were just throwing something out there that could really harm that person. So anyway, but then Heather, Anyway, so Jen is, she's apologizing for that, and it's not working because Heather is saying, you said these things about me as well, and this is what I have a problem with. So then Jen starts to cry and throw her kids into the situation, because this is what these housewives do. If they cannot get their way, they throw their kids in the situation and they cry, and it works every time. It works every time, because Heather instantly felt bad. All of a sudden, she forgave Jen for all the stuff that she has not only said, but done to her. And now they're on a path to healing that has obviously worked. It seems like they are back to being besties, because like I said before, when I watched Heather on Watch What Happens Live, she was Team Jen Shah. So obviously the wooing worked, Heather. Obviously you are caught back up in Jen's web, under her spell. It works every time. And this is what Whitney was afraid of. So they're back to being besties, and the races and the person of color are besties all over again. Weird. Very, very, very weird. Very, very weird. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with this episode. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. I'm going to go up. Candace said, didn't Mary look much younger in her home with no wig and makeup? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the truth, Jazzy. It is the truth. Me too, Miss T. I love Mary's natural hair without the wigs. She looks great. A little bit of liner and a lash, all she needs. She has great skin. I don't know why she puts on all that mess. It's Latasha said, I need a scene with the two housewives eccentrics, Kathy Hilton and Mary Crosby. I would love if they could do an all-star show together. I would love it. JG said, Mary and the worst Kojic Couture, I swear. So Steph said, Jen is so wrong and crazy, but I love her. I do not like Lisa at all. This is the thing about Mary and Jen. Awful, right? They have done awful things. Some could say they're awful people, but they're great TV. They're great TV. I'm telling you, if she is not in prison for season 3, Jen Shah will be there. There's no way the network is letting her go. No way. Hey, Carmen. Carmen said, I love my dog, but she only licked my face one time and it was an accident. And she didn't look at me like I had done. And she looked at me like I had done something wrong to her. LOL. I always thought she had the spirit of a Black woman. Do you guys, to my Black people in this live, do you guys have the Black talk with your animals? Like, do you let them know that they're African American, like, you know, that they're Black of whatever part of the diaspora you come from? Do y'all have that conversation? I want to know. Oh, I definitely have that conversation. Oh, Mr. Boop was new. He knew. Oh, Miss T said, I think that everybody was friends with Lisa in the business world. I think that's what her and Meredith were. There's no way they were besties like that and their friendship is already on the rocks. No way. Hey, Greta. Greta said, Lisa is so fake. She's just trying to latch on to the most popular person in the group so she can return next season. Lisa was not a fan fave at all. Nobody liked her. That's a good perspective. Oh, she is. She really, really is. Miss T said Heather's a true friend. She refuses to give up on any friendships, even when the friendship is detrimental to her all across the board. Yasmin said she was being sarcastic. She didn't call the feds. It's silly to think she did. Listen, I watched that. And me and Andy were like, and Brooks. I just feel like she needs to clarify that. She really, really does, because it's being said specifically by Jen's team and the people who are still rooting for her that she did that. So if I was her, I wouldn't play with that. I would not play with that. It's Latasha said, yeah, I didn't take that seriously. She was being cute. She needs to clarify. She really, really does. She needs to clarify. Jimmy G said, oh, we're here. Hello. Jimmy G said, Meredith didn't have anything to do with it. The feds have been investigating Jen Shah for years. I will say that. However, she needs to clarify. She really, really does. JG said, Meredith is feeding into the fans. The whole spin and sympathy with her son. She reads the comments, I swear. Oh, she definitely does. If she doesn't, Brooks does. Miss Brown Sugar said, by the way, the families interacted on last episode. I think that Meredith and Meredith 2.0 are real friends, but Lisa is busy trying to produce a show. That could be true. That could be. It was. I said, there's no way. I watched her cook that whole thing, and I said, there's no way that's done. There's no way that is done. I know at least the ravioli on top was crunchy. I know. I had to. I said, that pasta is not cooked. I love that baby. I love that. Oh, wait. Before the commercial. Yeah, we talk about the same baby, little girl. I love her. She's so funny. A fine doctor. And she playing, why do y'all play with your marriage of all things on a TV show? I will cause drama with these broads that I'm associates with and co-workers with and not really friends before I cause drama with my husband. Crazy. Diva1675 said, I love her kids. I told horrible jokes with my mom too. And her little daughter, her daughter was just like, I know you didn't like it. I saw you roll your eyes. She is so adorable and so spunky. Oh, I love her. Because he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. You can tell Whitney threw that on him. You can tell he was not prepared for that conversation. Why would you do that to your husband? Weird. These people play with their marriages for a TV show. Okay. Was hilarious. She is funny. I don't think she knows that. I hope, this is what I think. I think she doesn't know. I'm hoping she figures it out and starts to work that angle. Because if you're the comedic relief of the show, we don't need to focus on the drama in your life. If you are just naturally funny, the show, the network will be happy with just laughing at the things that you do instead of, you having to open up and say that your husband isn't pleasing you. I would never, ladies, never say that about your husband in public. You can have a conversation with your man and be like, we need to have more sex, but don't bring everybody else into it. He will always be embarrassed that he is not sexually fulfilling his wife. Oh, Whitney. Miss T said, Whitney told her 8-year-old, walk home. I know! I forgot about that. He was like, what? She was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. You may have to walk home. Not only is it below average, like freezing temperatures, he's this big. Why are you letting that tiny man walk home? And it doesn't seem like you live in an area where the school is down the street. How far is this baby walking? He's a white, tiny child, primed for a kidnapping. Like, what are you doing? Aurelie said, I actually like the ice cave. Me too. I'm worried I will break my neck entering it, though, like Heather almost did. But it looked nice. Doctor said her answers are boring to her husband, and she wants to be a businesswoman now. I'm sure he is feeling threatened. Well, this is something that happened to a lot of the ladies that come on these shows. They take the task of being a housewife, right? Where you're running the house while your husband is, out, making a bacon and bringing a bacon back home for you to cook. Then all of a sudden you get on these shows and now you want to be this like woman mogul, right? She's saying she wants to build her business into $1 billion business. He felt some sort of way about that because 1, that was not the agreement when y'all got married. 2, you have really small children. 1, that you want to walk home from school, right? To school and back, okay? And thirdly, do you know how hard it is to build $1 billion business and how much time it takes? You're not thinking these things through. And he's very concerned that you'll start chasing these things. And then all of a sudden, the home that you agreed to attend to while he went out and worked will not be run correctly or the way it has been running. But they get on these shows, the wives get on these shows and switch up all of a sudden. Now I want to sell joggers. I want to sell candles. I want to sell perfume. Your kid is 8. He needs you for at least 10 more years. What are you doing? You can't listen, y'all know I'm team woman, right? We are the prize. But y'all can't switch up on your husbands like that because of this TV show. Because if you didn't have this TV show, you'd be doing the same thing in a carpool with them babies, dropping them off at school, stopping by Starbucks, getting your coffee, coming back home, doing your yoga, FaceTiming your girlfriends, washing clothes, cleaning up the kitchen, running out the Whole Foods, getting a dinner for the night, prepping that, running out and picking up your kids, coming back, cooking the food for the husband, and then putting them kids to bed. If you did not have a TV show, you would be fine with the situation. Now you got a TV show. Now you want to switch it up. And now you want us to think that your husband is being unfair. I see you. Let me go down. Oh, Miss Brown Sugar said, Jen is a vicious friend. And I think Heather has too much to lose to keep playing with fire. but H does not seem to have good sense. Unfortunately, Heather, it's just like, how many times this lady got to burn you? I would have felt, if I was white, if I can think like that, we'll see. I would have a problem. I could not be friends with somebody who would do that. Right? Yes, you can't cancel white people, but you can make it very difficult for them by calling them a racist. We know, right? So that's why if you shoot that target, you want to make sure it's accurate information that can back that up. A lot of time is in plain sight. But as if you're a person of color or a black person, you know. So for me, if I was a Caucasian woman, you're dangerous. I'm not trying to fix nothing with you. I see where you go when you get mad at me. Absolutely not. Nope. Co-workers. And that's about it. I will give you nothing unless the cameras are on. But you going back to being her bestie and defending her in a scam case, a fraud case? Heather, do better. Do better. Hey, Tracy. I'm wearing Tracy's shirt right now. Oh, wait, you can't see it. I'm about to knock everything over. God help me. But this is Tracy's shirt. Everybody loves this, Tracy. Especially when the light hits me. She's the one. Very talented. Tracy said, is Whitney a New Yorker? Listen, we walked home from school in a snowstorm. Yeah. I walked home from school too as a kid. But you got to realize the 80s, the 90s, this is not the same time. They are kidnapping these kids. Like, oh my goodness. You can't even go to Target. Like, you can't even go to the corner store and be safe in this day and age. So no, absolutely not. I walked home blocks from school to my home. But, we always walked in groups. I don't know if you guys had this growing up, but did you guys have like older kids from like your neighborhood who walked you to school and back? We had that. Like, that's what I grew up with. My sister was older than me, so she didn't go to the same school, but there were kids in the neighborhood. Like, if we lived on the same block, the older kids would walk the younger kids to school and back. Did y'all do that? Or is that just like a Philadelphia row house thing? Let me know. But that was a different time. We weren't getting kidnapped like that. We were not. Speaking of kidnapped or, tragedies, I think they found that Gabby girl, right? Is that her name? A fellow YouTuber. I think they found her. Oh, Lord. These men are dangerous. These men are very, very dangerous, ladies. This is why, the first sign of anything that you see, get out. Get out. And it can be so small. It's enough. It's enough. It is a get out. JL said marriage is way more valuable than the show. Absolutely. Unless being on the show has been a tactic to, and that's very true, has been a tactic to getting out of the marriage. That is very true. A lot of women use that. A lot of housewives use that to also get out of bad marriages. So, but it seems like Whitney is happy where she's at. Why would she blow up her whole life to be with this man if this wasn't, a decision she was happy with? Teresa! Crips walked me home in middle school through the hood to the burbs. This just confirms what I have been saying the whole time. Crips are the nicest gang members you will ever meet. Every interaction that I have had with the Crip has been joyful. Joyful. They are very nice people. So I met three Bloods at one time, and I almost got robbed. But I think because I didn't know what was going on, they were just like, all right, girl, just get out of here. Because I told y'all about the time I wore that USC shirt, and they said something. He said, you know what that shirt means? And I was like, I don't know what it means. It's just a shirt. He said, the United States of Crips. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? And then when I said, what are you talking about? I realized I was talking to a group of men dressed in red. on Hollywood Boulevard, right outside of Second City. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? And then it hit me. And he was like, you don't know. And walked away. And they all turned and walked away with him. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I like ran upstairs. I'm like telling all my improv people, I almost lost my life. But a Crip would never treat me like that. They are so nice and kind, very helpful. Me and Teresa let y'all know. Crips walked her home from school. They probably get groceries for elderly people. Crips are kind people. Hey, Diva1675 said, yeah, I was a latchkey kid. Hey, shout out to the latchkey kids. I walked or took the bus. Yep. Now my friends are rushing to school to pick up their children. Yeah, it's a different time. It's a different time. NTR said, we sure as heck were getting kidnapped in the 80s. Remember beware of the white vans. To this day, I don't park next to a white van. If I see, like if I'm on my runs or one of my walks and I see a white van, I'm turning the other way. Poor white vans. It could just be somebody on their way to work as a plumber or something. But if you see a white van, I'm out. My grandma was like, you never park next to a white van or like just any van in general. She was just like, if you are looking for parking spaces and there are no parking spaces, if there's a parking space next to a white van, don't do it. Don't do it. She was also one that told me that I got to park in the front of like any department store, especially in the evening. She said, you park in the front where it is well lit and there are cameras there. You don't go parking in the back. Can't nobody find you. And that's where they're waiting. Oh my God. It is so dangerous being a woman. She was also one who told me about the keys. We can't just exist. We cannot just exist. Black Gal said, not Crips being very nice people. We don't really have gangs like that in Florida. Same thing with Philly. We don't have gangs. We just got drug dealers who terrorize the neighborhood. But that's it. Let me clarify. We have very attractive drug dealers who terrify the neighborhood. We don't have ugly drug dealers in Philadelphia. They're always very handsome and very tall. Very tall, which is why for me, it's like I'm never shocked that a girl is like struggling, with to be with a drug dealer or not. I'm like, oh my God, he terrorizes the community, but he's also 6'5" and gorgeous. It happens. It happens, especially in Philadelphia. We don't have unattractive drug dealers, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Pepe said, I don't understand gangsters. Welcome to our NikkiNicoleStar TV Live. Housewives to gangsters. I don't understand gangsters. How you claim a college shirt to mean something for the opposite gang. Like Slauson Swap Meet is right up the street where you can airbrush all the shirts you want. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on until he said it. I'm like, huh? And I'm like, oh, they're all wearing red. Thank God he just knew that I was not from there because I didn't know what he was talking about. So he was just like, okay, she's definitely not a blood. And I mean, a Crip. But why would he think that I would be a Crip and I was wearing a red shirt? Bloods. Look at me. Look at me. Let me stop. Oh my God, I got a blue shirt on. I'm not gang. I'm not gang. I'm not in none of that. None of that. Miss Brown Sugar said, no, babes. All major cities and many suburbs have gangs. You've been blessed to not have a negative interaction. Oh, wow. Oh, you know what? We do have a gang. It's called the Philadelphia Police Department. Let me tell you something. That is a gang. Okay? The NYPD who? The Philadelphia Police Department. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't know gangs. They had the mafia shook. How you got the mafia shook? The Philadelphia PD, child. Asatu, hey sis, said, sorry, but their beauty mean nothing to me when you do crime. Absolutely. Never was attracted to Mr. Bad Guy. I absolutely agree. When I was a teenager, I was a child. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things. I am grown now. I get it. I get it. I was wrong. I agree. I agree. Hey, Shan. Shan said, that was such a good live. Goes down in the books with the felon dating game. What live was that? What, are you talking about this live? Which live were y'all talking about? Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany said, haven't watched the episode, yes, but tuned in and wonder why Nikki is talking about Crips and Bloods. Welcome to a NikkiStar TV live. This is, I don't even know how we ended up here. Do y'all know sometimes I watch these back and I'm like, how did we get here? How? Oh my gosh. Diva1675 said, Bethany said housewives come on the show to get a divorce. Do the husbands know? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, Tiffany, that was a super chat. Sorry about that, Tiffany. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know why. I don't know how we get here. Shan said, no, I was talking about the live where you told us about your love of Crips. When Lamar came on a Love After Lockup, I'm telling you, they're nice people. They are very, very nice people. I'm telling you, just from my experience, and I've been out in LA for a long time, Crips are very nice. I told you about the other Crip when I was like dropping my friend home. First of all, let me tell you something. If you are not from here, right, and you move out to LA and somebody asks you to take them home, ask them where, right? When they give you the address, Google map it, or whatever maps you have in your phone, map it, right? Find out the neighborhoods that is near. I hate to be that person. Compton, anything around Slauson and Crenshaw, Martin Luther King. No, you got to find another way to get home. Sorry, right? So my friend asked me to take her home with the Bible study. I take her home. I didn't know I was a baby here. I was new. I didn't know. Take her home. Neighborhood started looking a little different. Because, see, I live in the valley. Okay, darling? So the neighborhoods was looking a little different. I was like, oh, my God, where are we at? Well, and she's like, oh, this is the Watt statue or some Watt statue that she was. I was like, what? Hold up. Where we? She's like, oh, no, Nikki, it's fine. No, it's everybody has gangs. It's not bad like that. Oh, girl, I dropped her off with the quickness. I ain't wait for not one red light. I breezed through all of them, right? But I was playing my music. And I had to, I stopped at this one stoplight because I was fine with that because it was like populated. So I felt kind of safe. Sorry. Sorry, people who live in those areas. But you know, I'm from Philly. I'm not from LA. I don't want to play around. So my music is blasting. And this guy's like, hey, turn that up. I look over. Young brother dressed in all blue. Blue hat, blue shirt, blue book bag, jean shorts, blue. He got socks all the way up to his knees, blue, and he's in these Nike slides. He's like, turn it up. And I'm like, not even recognizing the freaking colors. I'm like, oh, okay. I turned up the music. He just, then all of a sudden, it hit me when homeboys start crip walking. And I was like, I'm sitting in my car, fresh out of Philly, blasting music for this crip on the corner to crip walk. Welcome to LA. Welcome to LA. And then the light turned. I was like, oh, I got to get out of here. He was like, oh, no, it's good. Thank you. He thanked me. He thanked me and then waved me off as he crossed the street. That has been the majority of my interactions with Crips. Very nice people. They get a bad rap. They get a bad rap. They need the whoever's doing hip hop, the PR for hippos. They need to do it for Crips because they get a bad rap. Where are we going? Let me get out of here. Hey, Black Gal. Black Gal said, wow, no matter what state you live in, MLK Boulevard is in the hood. Just like most HBCUs are in the hood too. I hate the fact, and Chris Rock said this, that Martin Luther King preached nonviolence. And anywhere in America that has his name on the street, that is the most violent street you could ever think of. The most violent street. We don't have an MLK in Philly. We have a Martin Luther King High School. the most violent school, that MLK High School in South Philly High, the most dangerous high schools you will ever encounter in the city of Philadelphia. My best friend was like, I had to get out of there because she was like, I was light skinned with curly hair. I was getting jumped every day. Listen, she also had a mouth. You know what I mean? Still has it. But she was like, I had to get out of there. She was like, every day I was getting jumped. Let me get this super chat, Lynn. Let me get out of here so I can prepare for 90 Day Fiance. Shan said, welcome to LA Crip Walk. That is a better intro than the one in Pretty Woman. Thank you so much, Shan, for the super chat. He was so kind to me. I drove home the whole time confused. Like, he's so nice. Why was he so nice to me? They said that they were so violent. He was like, turn that up. I was like, oh, I gotta go. Thank you. Bright smile. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Cameron said, y'all think Nikki randomly talking about Crips and Bloods, then y'all think Nikki randomly talking about Crips and Bloods, then y'all definitely should have caught the live room where she randomly started talking about NSYNC and I gotta watch these back. And it better be Timmy. I'm going to try to get him on one of these lives just to let him know. Is he almost out? I think Timmy is almost out. JG, it's true. Even the celeb Crips are very nice people. I'm telling y'all. I'm just telling you my personal interactions. They are just nice people. And it's just not me. There are people that I have talked to. I know a lady who, like, these Crips were going to rob her, but they saw that she wasn't from around there. So they walked her to the market to protect her. They let her get her stuff, and they watched her get her stuff, and then they walked her to her car so that she would be protected in their neighborhood. And she was like, I know it sounds unbelievable. And I was like, girl, not to me. Not to me. Let me tell you about the Crips I met. Nice people. Greta said Martin Luther King High School in Manhattan was notorious. I feel like it, why? Why would we do that to MLK? Why would we do that to MLK? Oh, Breezy, what's up? Breezy said, my daughter just started at Spelman, super hood. We are terribly disappointed. $58,000 tuition for what? Oh, Temple University. Same thing. But the universities do that a lot. Let me tell you something. Colleges are the biggest gentrifiers in the United States of America. They find dilapidated, dangerous neighborhoods to build in because the property is cheap. And they can buy up as much as they want and push those people out while endangering the students that are going there. And listen, if you went to Temple University, let me tell you something. You was always getting robbed. Every time, I go home and I watch the news in Philly, it's another Temple University student that is on the news crying because they got a black eye and their purse stolen. Why are you walking around in North Philadelphia at 10 p.m.? Let's talk there. If everybody in the neighborhood is inside, why do you have to take a midnight stroll to get a slice of pizza? Stay inside. Every time. I didn't know what happened. I just turned around and they punched me in the eye and stole my purse. I'm like, what's going on? You're in North Philadelphia, mama. You're in North Philadelphia. Stay inside until the sun comes up. If the black people are inside, why aren't you? Think about it. Wisdom. But that's a lot of colleges. It really is not as scary as people think. North Philadelphia is like, it's just, I think with any major city, there's just certain blocks you can't walk down. There's just certain blocks you just like, when I was back in Philly, not for my uncle's funeral, but before then, I would, I had places that I would take my walks, but I knew, right? Like when I was on my walk, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn around because I just shouldn't be here. I still love that city. I plan on going back. But Howard University is a gentrification, right? because that area wasn't like that. But now the area around it is getting gentrified. But listen, I love Howard University. That's where I wanted to go. But my counselor said no. Shouldn't have listened to her. But let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. Howard gentrified that area. When you bring millions and millions of dollars to this university, what the hell you think is going to happen? Especially if anybody is tuning in, let me get out of here. Now we on gentrification. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You got Denzel Washington coming back to speak to people, riding in, nice cars with security. You think that area is going to stay that way? I'm telling you, if a university is being built in your hood, you got a good 10 years until you cannot afford to live there anymore. And the way it's going now, you might just have 5. You might just have 5. Me too. Howard was my choice. I definitely wanted to go there. Let me get 2 more, then let me get out of here. Tara said, I once took a chap. Where you from? I once took a chap down by swinging a 4-pint milk container at his head. Messy but effective. You go, girl. You go. JG said, when I first moved to LA, my first older friend was an older Crip lady that helped me with directions at the gas station. She's been my big sis since then. Listen, these are the reviews from the public. These are the reviews from the public. We are not making this up. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you remember Big Tony. I cannot believe that you remember Big Tony. If I go back to Philly anytime soon, I'm definitely going to take a picture of that water ice location and be like, this is where, the Big Tony incident went down. Vodka, how do you remember that? Oh, that was a day. That was a day. Oh gosh. Jade said, yes, Howard has been very gentrified. It was the hood first. It was the hood first time. My collie self seen roaches coming out the concrete. All my sisters graduated from there. Oh, not anymore. Oh, Howard is that girl. She is that girl. There's no way, Tara. There's no way to explain it. You had to be here. Let me get out. Oh, London. That explains chap. I can't wait to visit. Vodka said, someone mentioned him and that story is unforgettable. Big Tony. Oh gosh, the way that water ice stand cleared out. A lot of the mafia is in Florida now, but there's some residue here in Philly, and some of them dudes still hold power. Let's end here because I gotta get out of here for 90 Day Fiance. Tracy said, shout out to the NikkiStar TV replay gang. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the channel to your social media. Listen, I want to thank you all for joining me. We went over. We definitely went over, but I've missed y'all. And I had a good time. If you like 90 Day Fiance the other way, please stick around. In about 40 or so minutes, I will hop on there to do that live. And then I will see you, Tuesday unless Bachelor in Paradise. I'll probably see you for Bachelor in Paradise tomorrow if it comes on tonight. If not, I'll see y'all Wednesday. But I'll post something that I wanted to do tomorrow. Anyway, even if it doesn't come on, I'll still post something. But thank you all so much for joining me. I'll see you all in 40 minutes if you like 90 Day Fiance the other way. If not, I'll see you soon for something else. If you are watching this during the replay gang, I'm sorry. I don't, these conversations just go all over the place. How we went from housewives to Crips to gentrification, I don't know, but it happened. Love y'all, fam. See y'all soon. Bye. Oh, God. Y'all